Our next guest is an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, television personality, author, and shark. And when she's not busy competing to invest in businesses on Shark Tank, she's answering your calls and dishing out great advice on her podcast, Business Unusual. Please welcome Barbara Corcoran.
Thank you so much. So
Hi,
nice to be
Barbara.
back.
Hi.
Hello.
So, Barbara, you look great, by the way. Welcome to the show. So, Barbara, you've been married to your husband since 1988, but you once threatened to leave him. I want to hear all the details. Spill it.
Well, of course, you're talking about Bill, and I'm frankly surprised I'm still with him. You know, my husband has a lot of great traits, but being a businessman is not one of them. And years back, he came to me and he asked me to make him the chairman of the board of the Corcoran Group. He had nothing to do with the business. It was my business. I started it. I ran it. And he just wanted to become the chairman, he said, because he wanted to have it on a business card. I, of course, told him it was a ridiculous idea. Managers would quit. And then what do you think he did? He went out and he did a knockoff on my business card and put his name on it anyway as the chairman. And worse than that, he did a cheap job, a cheap little business card, paper thin. So I told him if he'd stop the nonsense, he was handing it out to everybody, I was going to divorce him. And he knew I meant it. And I did mean it. And he stopped it immediately. You know, he's a great guy,
Wow.
great husband, great dad, but he's not going to get his hands into my business. I knew that. It was going to be over.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh,
Boundaries.
you are tough. I like it.
He's tough. He's stubborn.
Okay, you get on them, Barbara. Okay. Well, you know, Barbara, this has been a tough year for many companies. What's the single best piece of advice you have for entrepreneurs during this hard time?
It would be the advice I gave to my 80 entrepreneurs that I've invested in Shark Tank. I told every one of them, the minute the pandemic hit, I called each one. I said, you sit down today, you take a sheet of paper, and you make a list of every single place your business has come from, every single source. And they did that. And then I told them, tear it up and throw it in the garbage can, because that's exactly the spot you're in. And they did that knowing that they had to produce all new sources of business, because that's what the pandemic did to everybody. It decimated sources of business. And the ones who listened and started all over again with that kind of a mindset really have done well. And I would say more than half the business, I said that too, are still waiting for things to change. And that's just not the way it's going to go.
Wow.
That is some real advice right there. As a successful entrepreneur, what has been one of the greatest challenges one of your businesses faced this year?
I have a great business named Comfy, and what they make is an oversized blanket. And what happened was I bought into that business on the show, and to everyone's surprise, because they were goofy guys, they didn't know what they were going to sell it for. They didn't know the price. They didn't know how they were going to make it. I was the only sucker that bought into them, and I bought a third of their business. Well, lo and behold, 1 year later, they have $100 million in sales. Who would have ever thought that would have happened? But then the stores closed in March, and all those stores shipped all that material right back to them. And I thought they were going to go out of business, but they turned in their heels, got a phenomenal website, started broadcasting, social media, and sold all those blankets. And now they have $250 million in sales 1 year later. I'm still
Wow.
I'm a huge fan.
Wow.
I was one of those purchases. I love them.
good for you. I love them too.
Yeah.
This is phenomenal. I have to ask you, so you said that men are better negotiators than women. So what's the biggest mistake we as women make when it comes to negotiating?
Well, you know, I've hired thousands of people in my career, and I can tell you that women don't ask for raises. They just don't ask. That's one. They don't take credit for their work. They don't stand up to be counted. A man will ask for a raise quicker than he deserves it. A guy will climb a mountain, get to the top, put a flag up and tell you he owns a mountain. A woman will climb the same mountain backwards in high heels, put a tent up, make sure the wallpaper is good, feed the kids, make the dinner, and then say maybe she's the queen of the mountain. You know, there's a whole different thing. If women would learn to know their worth and speak up, they would get those raises. But women just don't bother to ask. I'm constantly amazed by that.
Why do you think we're like that, Barbara? Some of us.
I think what we value as women is to be team players, to share the credit, to be liked. And even though those are wonderful attributes that make us wonderful human beings, when it comes to dollars and cents, it doesn't serve us. And I think we can be both. I've had to learn to be both. That wasn't my nature. I wanted to be loved. I would just, can I help you? Can I help you? I'm still that way. It's my nature. But I always stop and say, what would a man do? And I ask for a raise. I ask for more money. I ask for what I want. And that took a life to learn that. But it can be learned. It's a matter of rewiring the way your head thinks.
Wow. Well, we absolutely love watching you ask for exactly what you want on Shark Tank. We've got a clip from the show. Let's check it out.
Something we hear very often with very savvy, very smart people that come on Shark Tank, that they're building so fast and their end goal is to sell it. My practical experience to date, without exception, has been every single business I invested in that had that as an end goal either went out of business or in the end almost folded up their shop. I'm so suspicious of that.
Okay.
I just think it's a cautionary tale because I have learned to interpret your pitch here as a very bad sign, and it's pretty scary. So for those reasons, I'm out. Whoa. Am I that
Barbara.
You've been on the
Barbara.
show for 12 seasons now. So I have a question. Is there one shark who is always trying to compete with you just to strike a deal?
Oh, yeah. Of course, you could probably guess who that is. Kevin snaps if he doesn't get.
Mr. Wonderful.
If I'm getting more attention for any reason than him, and he watches me, I can feel it coming. He starts grabbing for a deal I want when he doesn't even want it. He doesn't care. He'll even overpay for it just to take it out of my hands. I mean, he's a crybaby, really, Kevin. Even though he plays with.
Hater. He's a hater. He's jealous.
Oh. Now, Barbara, since you are great at giving out advice and you always dish out the facts on your podcast, Business Unusual, we thought you would be the perfect person to help out our real fam. This is Ask Barbara.
Right.
Let's get to it, Jeannie Beans.
All right, our first question is from Kia Shun from Texas. Let's see what she's got to say.
Hi, Barbara. My name is Kia Shawn Volts, inventor of the shampoo mat, which is patent pending, and my business is Love Shampoo Time on Instagram. I created the shampoo mat to reinvent wash days for children with curly hair, but it also benefits autistic children who have sensory issues. By providing them an ergonomic mat and an entertainment bar where you can attach a smart device as an added distraction. Since I started my business in April of this year, I have grown tremendously. I did over 1,100 orders for Black Friday, and I'm close to $250,000 in revenue in my first 6 months. With these outstanding sales, it's becoming an issue for me to keep up. I am producing these mats in my home, so my question to you is, how can I go about finding a manufacturer so that I can increase productivity? Come on, Barbara, help me out.
I'm happy to help you. It's really actually easy to find a manufacturer because you Google online manufacturing matching and a dozen websites come up. They don't charge you for the service, but they'll list every type of thing that you're looking for. So you list your products, what you want, and they'll spit out a whole list of people and then you price shop. However, listening to you and knowing your quick success, I can tell you one thing. Chances are good that you don't need a manufacturer because you have to hire a lot of quantity for it to make sense. You probably just need an extra set of hands. And if you get an extra set of hands, you're going to take the pressure off your shoulders. And what I have learned about new businesses is the hardest person to hire is that first hire because you think, oh, could I really keep them busy? Am I really ready for it? Yes, you are ready for it. And the minute you hire them, your business takes off because you never can build an empire unless you work through other people. So get your first hire in. I would do that long before I hired a new manufacturer.
Wow.
Wow,
Great.
such great
Wonderful
advice. Okay, up next we have a question from Christine in Georgia. Let's check it out.
Hi, Barbara and ladies. My name is Christine Woodard from Statesboro, Georgia. I am a mother of 3, married to a Navy veteran. My husband and I founded Georgia Photo Booth Company back in 2016 as a fun and unique way to market our professional event photography business. By starting Georgia Photo Booth, this allowed us to offer our clients a way to let loose and have fun, all while capturing special moments of the event along with professional photography through digital photo experiences. Our photo experiences range from standard photographs to state-of-the-art augmented reality with your favorite sports icon or characters. So Barbara, from your experience in a market where the majority of our competition offers a similar product, what do you feel is the best way to create competitive separation other than pricing? Can you help us, Barbara?
Sure, I can. You know, you're producing so many angles and services there. I bet you've tapped out your brain. I found in building my business, I had all the good ideas in the first place, but after a while I ran out. What you have to do is you have to create a group of friends or associates that have nothing to do with the photography business and sit down and brainstorm for a couple of hours on the craziest ideas anyone can think of. That's where all the good ideas come from outside your own industry, and a lot of people don't bother to look. I would also say to you that you have to really stop and think, what business am I in? And I would suggest you're not in the photography business, and you should stop thinking about that. You're in the entertainment business. And once you break out of that box, you'll start to think, how else can I entertain people? Could I give them tattoos? Could I have a makeup person there to freshen up their makeup? Can I have Snapchat filters to give them funny faces or make them bark like a dog? The minute you break out of that box, your energy and your creativity goes through the roof. But you need other people. The more minds, the merrier when you're trying to think of new ideas.
Wow.
Barbara, you are brilliant. I'm literally inspired just hearing you talk. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Shark Tank airs on Fridays at 8/7 Central on ABC. And be sure to check out and subscribe to her podcast, Business Unusual, on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to podcasts.